Yo, it is the Beast, and welcome back to the Beast on. What is the Beast on today? That is a good question. I ate my Wheaties this morning. Anyone eat Wheaties anymore? Or do we just buy the box because there's a famous athlete on the front and we just keep that as a keepsake? I actually used to eat Wheaties. They were pretty good. This was a discussion amongst my 12-year-old soccer team the other day. Wheaties. They had no idea what it was. I digress. This episode of the Beast On is my third installment, my third chapter of my unemployment diary, because I'm still unemployed. And the last two chapters, I really was looking back at the day I was let go and the emotional and mental and psychological toll and physical that it's taken on me to leave the company I was with and to leave the people I was with and to leave the job that I loved. I was really looking back. And now I'm going to start looking forward because it's time to... I'm going to go cliche. Cliche alert! Turn the page. Did you like that? Did you like that, huh? Turn the page? Yep. All right. So, what is next for me, or what is out there, and what's the process like? So, I get laid off, and my position is eliminated. I'm still wondering if that's really the case, but we'll go with that. And the only thing I can think to do is get my resume up to date, right? So I had the lovely Sarah Littman, who's been a college professor and worked in higher education for a long time, work on my resume. And then I had it again fine-tuned by the amazing Meredith Dolberg, who is into finding people jobs. So I appreciate you ladies very, very much. You are amazing for helping me get prepared to enter the job market. And got the resume done, got it up, signed up on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, threw it out there, just went gangbusters. Had to get myself an actual real email account that didn't have some sort of The Beast or Canes or whatever, like a professionally named sounded email account, which I do have now. That involves just my name and Gmail and some variation of that. So yay, professional looking email account. Got that up. That was a big thing. I adulted when I did that. And I just started grooving. I just started grinding. I just started applying for everything. Because the bottom line is, at that moment, I think I decided one thing at that moment. And you never say never. But at the time, at that moment, it was going to take a lot for me to want to jump back into corporate radio. A lot of people are said, hey, why don't you head up to Palm Beach, which if you're not from South Florida, like I'm down in Broward County outside of Fort Lauderdale, you know, I could be up to Palm Beach in 45 minutes to an hour. So it's a bit of a commute, but it's doable. You know, why don't you go head up to Palm Beach? Why don't you go look at across the street at this station? Which good thing I didn't, because they just that company is laying off like thousands of people. And there's, you know, hey, jump back into radio. And I really didn't have the taste for it at the moment, and I don't know if I still do. I love radio, and I think if I got offered a great job, I would probably take it, because I still love it. I still have a passion for it, despite my kind of outlook on the long term of terrestrial radio being a negative one. It's still what I love to do. I would love to turn on a mic every day and do a radio show or help program a radio station. But just the taste in my mouth of what's going on with corporate media told me, like, all right, don't do what you did last time, which is call every person in radio that you know and try to get back in the radio. Like, let's think outside the box. Let's see what else you're good for. And when I really sat down and thought about all of the skills I've learned in media, journalism, radio over the past 20 plus years, it prepares you for a lot. I mean, you've got great marketing skills. You've got great communication skills, both verbal and written. You've got great sales skills, right? You've had to sell yourself as a personality, or you're doing ads for clients and you're selling them. You have to sell yourself to listeners. You have all of these traits and skills that you've learned doing one job over the last 20 plus years that really could be transferred over to a lot of other professions. And I said to myself, okay, But I'm the beast and I have a brand and I still really want to be creative and I still want to have hot takes and I still want to do my thing. How do I do both? How do I try to find a job that isn't in corporate radio, but also be the beast and do my thing? And I started off with, all right, I'll go YouTube, right? I'd been watching a bunch of YouTube videos as a way to fall asleep at night. And I know there's the ASMR or AMSR or ARSM or I forget what it is. But, where people kind of use these videos with certain sounds or what have you to relax and fall asleep. Not necessarily into that stuff, but I watched some pretty odd YouTube videos before I go to sleep. I'm really not sure I should tell you. It's not like disgusting in that sense, but so I watch podiatry videos and toenails being clipped and calluses being shaved, and I watch earwax removal videos, and of course there's the Dr. Pimple Popper, and I listen to air traffic control. So I'm into some weird stuff, but it serves as kind of like some noise to relax me before I go to bed. So I've been watching YouTube videos for a couple of years, and I've been seeing the numbers on these channels going up and been reading about YouTube channels being monetized. And I said, okay, I can do that. I got an iPhone. I can go buy myself a lav mic, which I've got on right here. Look, here. This will probably make a bad noise, but it's my lav mic. And I got myself a stand with the phones on. And I even got a green screen and some lights. And eventually I can do some studio stuff. And I got a new computer and software and all that stuff. And all right, boom. We can start doing that. A brand, I can make content and feel like I'm able to touch my creative sources and flows that way. And so that made me feel, that kind of gave me a place to go with my hot takes while I looked for a job. And then I just started applying for jobs and going on interviews. And wait, let me take a step back before I get to that, because I think it's really important to get in off the top of this one, which is, here's the real thing about being unemployed, laid off, let go, all of that, is you find out who your real friends are, right? Because on the day that you are let go, and in the days after, you will be inundated with Facebook posts, Instagram, Twitter, phone calls, text messages, emails from hundreds of people that you didn't even know you knew, saying, hey, anything I can do to help, let me know. You will get that phone call a billion times. And when I say you find out who your friends are, is because when you really do need help, when you're looking for help, a lot of times those people, nowhere to be found. Just nowhere. They'll have some great advice for you. They'll give you an idea. Hey, why don't you do that? Why don't you go substitute teach? Do that. Why don't you go do this? Why don't you go do that? But exactly, I guess I was a little bit naive because I thought I had all these connections and knew all these people who make a ton of money, and I have ideas and things I want to do and build. And I thought it would be pretty easy to go to people or find people or have people come to me that say, listen, we know you're pretty smart. We know what you're doing. We know you know your way around the media landscape. You've got this idea. I want to be on board with you. Now, a few have. And I'm ever so grateful for those people. But I thought there'd be more, and I thought that it would come together pretty quickly. That my network of people would come together behind me pretty quickly, and my ultimate goal, dream, vision, which I'm obviously not going to throw out there in the public domain because I don't want you to take it, would be able to be realized. And that didn't happen. And that really upset me a lot because it's like, man, and not to, all right. Like, I know a bunch of people that have a lot of money, or way more than I have. And you don't want to beg people for money. I don't want to be that person. And I have a Patreon page up. And I'm still waiting for, ghost donors to come in there, patreon.com/BrianTheBeastLondon. But I really thought like someone would say to me, hey, listen, let me help you out here. You lost your job. You've got a vision. You've got a plan. I'm either going to invest in whatever you are doing and we'll worry about you getting me back on the flip side. Or, you know what, Brian, you've been great to me. You're a great person. You've got a family. Let me carve out a job for you at my company or hook you up with this company that has this job that can pay you X amount of dollars and you can feed your family while you work on your big scheme, big plan. And that just didn't happen. I did have, listen, the biggest thanks has to go to Dr. Alon Payenson. And many of you may not know who he is, but he's a great family friend. He's a great person. He's an emergency room doctor. But he has a side business called Doctors on Call 365. Yeah, you can go Google it. Doctors on Call 365. And he basically has a business outside of the shifts that he does at the emergency room where he makes house calls and comes to your house and fixes you up. And he's come to my house a million times, whether my wife had pneumonia or I had a cyst that turned into an infection that needed an antibiotic, or my son had something wrong with him. He's helped us a billion times. And as they say in Swahili, he's a mensch. No, that's Yiddish, but that's okay. He's a great guy. And he was one of the first people to reach out to me and said, listen, I don't have much for you to do. I have this small other company, but if you could help me with some marketing, if you could help me with some of this, some that, I would be greatly appreciative. And I was so blessed and thankful and honored to help him out. And I would do anything for this guy, anything for Dr. Payenson, anything for his family, because he was there for me. He reached out to me. And even though he didn't have much to give, he didn't sign me up for $100,000 to be his head of whatever, but he reached out to me, right? He was one of those guys that said anything I could do and then actually did it. And I thought there'd be like 10 more of those people. And there's been more people reaching out over time, to give me some stuff to do and whatnot, but it didn't come like I thought it would, and it wasn't the people that I thought it would be. So that has me a bit disappointed. So I really thought, yes, I'm going to apply to all these jobs, but someone I know is going to hook me up because I've been good to them, and then I can pay the bills, feed the family, keep the family unit intact in our house with the electric on while helping somebody out, while also on the other side of it working on this big plan and scheme and deal that I want to do. But that didn't happen. So now it's let's throw the resume out there everywhere we can and just go in on job interviews. And the first interview I went on, and I'm not going to get into this because you might see this on your local news soon, or maybe it was on your local news depending on when you're watching this video. But the first job I went on was a cattle call to a company that's fake, that was talking about marketing that it wasn't, and can't really get into the details, but it was all sham. And I drove all the way down to downtown Miami from Broward, which I know is, it's not that bad, but I had to carve out a whole day to go on something that was a complete waste of time. And it was just like, man, what was that? And is this what unemployment life's going to be like? Is going on these interviews that are not real and fake and what have you? And yes, that's what a lot of it has been. Now, I have got on some great interviews, and I do have some great leads for amazing jobs that are not in radio or not in media, because I think I have a pretty vast set of skills and a dynamic personality and a lot of things that could benefit any kind of company. So I think things are going in the right direction, just not the way I thought they were going to go. And I think the important thing for me was to stay busy, and this is where an anecdote will come in, to stay busy just to keep me going, to keep me out of the house. And it may sound weird to you, but I love being in my car. Like, I love being in my car. Like, I enjoy traffic. I enjoy just being in my car. I might throw on the comedy channel, listen to some comedy, listen to some reggae, whatever. I'm in my car. I love it. I love my car. I love driving around. So I was like, what can I do where I can drive? The other thing, though, is I didn't want to do like Uber because or Lyft because I don't want to be responsible for other people in my car, right? I think I'm a good driver. I've had my share of incidents, but I think I'm a really good driver. My wife and some might disagree. I'm a bit aggressive, but I just didn't want to be responsible for anyone else in my car. I didn't want to deal with, letting strangers in my car and thinking about, does this person have a knife or a gun and blah, blah, blah. I just didn't want to go that route. So I signed up with Postmates because I wouldn't be driving people, I'd be driving things. And at first I'm like, well, this is stupid. Like, I'm going to deliver pizzas? Like, come on, I have a college degree. But for me, it was a chance to get out of the house for a few hours a day, and I'm in my car, and I love it. And I might deliver some groceries from Walmart, or I might deliver some food from this restaurant or that restaurant, or, I've done a lot of picking up of beer from 7-Eleven and delivering it to dudes watching football. And it certainly doesn't pay the bills, and it's not that much of a financial windfall, but it gave me something to do. It gave me kind of a reason to get off the couch. So I'm driving Postmates, and here's where the story comes in. So my first week of driving for Postmates, and you have an app, and you're driving around, and it tells you where the hot areas are, where most of the people are ordering from, and so I try to stay in the hot area, and boom, it's like, there's an offer for delivery, and you can accept or deny. And this was a large Walmart grocery delivery, and so I accepted it. And as I accepted it, I'm looking at the name of the person. I don't want to out this person. I'm looking at the name of this person who I'm delivering to, and I know this name. This is a name that's in my phone. This is someone I know very well. And without giving too much away, it's someone I worked with 20 years ago who, like me, was on the overnight shift at a radio station. This person was younger than me. I think they might have still been in high school, if not just graduated, when they were doing the graveyard shift. But this person has ended up going from that to running a multi-million-dollar company, and has been widely successful in the broadcast industry, as successful as you can be financially and job-wise. And so this person's based out of South Florida, even though it's a national company that he runs. And I texted this person. I said, "Did you order groceries from Walmart?" And he said, "Listen, I'm out of town on a business trip, but yeah, my wife probably did, because that's what we do." I was like, great. Because the biggest fear I had when jumping into the Postmates thing, or if I was going to work in retail or any other job, was, am I going to be, not that I would be a bartender, but am I going to be behind the bar of some restaurant, mixing up a drink, and there's going to be 4 people that walk in and be like, "Hey, Beast, what are you doing bartending? That's a step down." Or, "What are you doing delivering my pizza? You're the Beast. You're on the radio. You're on morning radio. You reached the pinnacle of radio. And now you're delivering my pizza." Like, I just didn't want to deal with that. Like, I felt horrible enough as it is about my situation that I didn't want to deal with that. So here it is. One of my first deliveries for Postmates is to this guy that is... we started at the same place, and he's somewhere off the screen over here with how he's doing financially and in life, and I'm still around here. And so I was like, okay, whatever, I'll suck it up. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll take the groceries to this dude's house, give it to his wife, I'll be nice, blah, blah, blah. Maybe he'll tip well. Please tip your Postmates drivers very well. You never know when we might need that extra $5 to pay a bill. And so I look at the address and I'm like, I'm not really familiar exactly where, like I know where this house is, but like the street doesn't look familiar to me. And I'm driving, and as I get to where I'm going, like the streets get more private and more private and more private to the fact that I'm now staring at what looks like the Taj Mahal of a house with gates and security, and there may have been drones flying. I have no idea. But I pull up to this house that looks like the Taj Mahal. And I pull up. There's the most expensive cars in the driveway. The landscaping is amazing. This house has wing after wing after wing after wing. Like there's wings. There's palatial. It is beyond palatial estate. It is as big and as gaudy of a house I've ever been around. And props to this dude for getting there. But here I am in my Nissan delivering Walmart groceries to this person's family that I started out down here with, and they're up here and I'm over here delivering their groceries. And the wife was nice and gave me the groceries and couldn't have been nicer and what have you. And the transaction went fine. I drove out of there just feeling horrible about myself because here's this dude that has made it so big that has enough money to have their own street. And of course, I have the address and I throw that thing on Zillow, and of course, got a good deal in the house that originally went on the market for $8 million, but he got it for $5 million. So, that was some good negotiating there, but a $5 million house. Jesus. And remember, it was originally put on the market for $8 million, and I think it was originally bought the first time for $10 million, or when it was built, it was worth $10 million. So just think about what that is, whatever that is, if you can even imagine. And I only saw the front of it. I didn't even get to the back. And it just made me, it was like, damn. Like, that was a little putz kid. When I was working, when I was a little putz kid. And now that person's off the charts, and I'm delivering his groceries. And welcome to the world of being unemployed. But I continue on. And I go on interviews. Even like I've gone on more interviews and more jobs I never thought that I would apply for, or never thought of an industry I would be in. But it's like you never know. The thing about me is I love to do a lot. I would be interested in so much. I would love to work at a hotel. I would love to work at the airport. I would love to work with the airlines. I'd love to be a courier. I'd love to I love fast-paced anything. I've applied for jobs with police departments as spokesperson, and FYI, the town of Davie has a 94-page application that took me 7 days to fill out, and they needed my high school transcript. And at some point, when I got to question number 4,228, I was like, this is a bit much. But there is so many things that I can do that I would love to do that aren't radio. Recently I went on a job interview, and the person that was interviewing me was like, why are you here? Like, your resume is all radio. And I did some sales for my dad. I've worked in the wholesale meat industry. I was doing journalism for CBS, writing for them. I've done a bunch of other stuff in my life, but basically for the last 25 years, I've done just radio, just media. And, I continued to have to explain in every interview, but particularly this one, listen, I know I've been in radio. I understand that, but my skill set lends itself to so many different industries. And myself, I have way more passions of various nature than just your average sports jock. My life doesn't revolve around ESPN. My life doesn't revolve around knowing every stat and every player and every manager. I still watch sports. I love sports. I love watching the Heat. I love watching my Patriots when they're not losing. I love watching the Red Sox when they're not cheating. I love all of it. But that's not necessarily what I have to do with myself, right? I can do something else and still enjoy that. And have this little camera here to give my hot takes. Now, I'm not going to give you what I really want to do and my idea and my scheme and my plan because I don't want to take it. But I think that I have something big that could explode in my mind. And I need help getting there. And, you know, one of my mentors, the great Michael Matlock, who is a mensch and a mentor and an amazing person and a great Game Watch buddy, and he's been like a big brother or second dad to me, said, listen, just whatever you have to do to keep clawing. If you have to go break into your 401k, go do it. Whatever it is that you have to do to get to where you have to be. And, you know, that takes a lot of risk to do that. And I haven't done that yet because I'm not there yet. I have to nail down some more stuff. But I think what's next for me, and this will be the next video, is, and I've already had a bunch of people slide into my DMs and hit me up on the email and the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram at Miami Radio Beast and say, listen, dude, I'd love to advertise on your YouTube channel. If you start a podcast, I want to advertise there. Whatever you do, I'm into it. And now I'm starting to have people that want to invest in me reach out to me. So this is starting to happen a little bit. And I think soon enough, I'll be able to, I want to get a job that has benefits, right? Because we need to be able to have health insurance and all that stuff. So get that, and then on the side, work on my long-term plan, my scheme, my deal, my idea to dominate in this world and bring all of the people I love along with me. That's really what I want to do. That's the bottom line is I want to take the people that have been good to me in my career, who I've loved working with, who I love dearly, and work with them again, but under our own set of circumstances where we're in charge and not the man in corporate who's going to make decisions that we know are wrong and going to adversely affect everyone's lives and the nature of the business that we were in. All right, that's chapter 3 of my unemployment diary. I hope that helps you if you're unemployed. Please reach out to me. Don't forget, you can follow me on social at Miami Radio Beast. Please subscribe to the channel right down there. Subscribe, hit the bell. You'll get notified when new videos are up. And you can always support me on patreon.com/BrianTheBeastLondon. And if you want to be a part of what I have up here, reach out to me. We'll make it happen. And I promise you will get a good ROI. I promise us. We're going to take over the world. We're going to dominate. Joaquin said, dominate! We're going to do it. All right? Now, only you Miami Hurricane fans will understand that. That'll do it for me. And everybody that's sitting on the second floor of my house, which is just me right now. Peace. I'll see you when I see you.